Today we're going to be doing an installation on the new AlphaRex 23 Plus Super D headlights. This is going to be the same process for both the Nova and the Lux headlights, so let's jump right into this and get these installed on your truck. The first step is going to be removing this upper shroud piece that sits in front of the engine and on top of your grille and headlights. I'm pointing out here there's going to be a bunch of different push pins that need to be removed one by one. Take your time as you don't want to break these, but if you do, you can always get them from a local auto parts store. See here we're using a panel popper tool to quickly go underneath these and lift them out. Highly recommend using a panel popper tool as it's going to make this job a heck of a lot easier. Once you get those loosened and out of place, you can then lift up and pull this piece out of the way on the truck, just carefully moving it off so you don't scratch anything, damage headlights, anything else. But this part is pretty easy to get you started. Once you have that, you're going to access these small little hidden covers that are going to hide some bolt heads. These are going to be the two bolts that are primarily holding in the lower section of the grille. So once you pop those out with either a small screwdriver or a little pin tool, you can then access those bolts and remove them for the grille. There's also going to be a couple bolts on the top of the grille holding the grille into the truck. Again, pretty easy to get these done and removed out of the way. There's also a few push pins that need to be removed, and we're going to do that in the next step here. So again, you're going to grab that panel popper tool, slide under those push pins, and you will get those out of the way. These can be a little bit of a hassle, so just take your time because, again, you don't want to break these because it just means a trip down to the auto parts store to get a replacement. You can see Nelson here working carefully with a panel popper tool to make sure he gets these little guys out without damaging them. They can be fragile, so you just want to make sure you support the head. You don't use like a flathead screwdriver or something like that can actually damage them as you remove them. Once those are out of the way, you're going to actually be able to get the grille off the truck with one final step, and this is actually going to be the hardest part of the grille removal. So I highly recommend using a plastic trim removal tool for this, and you are going to slowly pry at the grille and remove it from the headlights. There's actually like metal clips that hold the grille onto the headlights. Take your time, work your way around these. This is the step where if you pull too hard or you jam on the grille, you can actually break these metal clips off of the headlights. There are plastic tabs on the face of the factory headlight that hold these little metal clips into place. So you just want to make sure that you take your time, you work carefully, and you don't break those because they are a part of the headlight, so it's definitely expensive to replace. Obviously, you're replacing your headlights, but ideally you probably want to sell your factory ones, so you want to carefully take your time to make sure that you're not damaging the headlights and not damaging those clips. Again, the plastic tool is going to be vital here because you don't want to scratch the headlights either. If you're really worried about that, you can use like a microfiber rag between the panel popper and your lights. But most of the time, a plastic trim tool will have no problems getting this off without causing any damage. Once that's done, you can actually freely move the grille out of the way. You're going to kind of carefully lift up. This is actually pretty easy to do with one person, but you're going to carefully lift up the grille and move it out of place. Now, some trucks are going to be equipped with a front-facing camera and a washer nozzle for that camera. So if your truck is equipped, you'll need to carefully lift the grille just far enough out of the way and then depress the connector to get that camera disconnected and depress the connector to get the washer nozzle disconnected. Once those two are free, you'll be able to remove the grille, but if your truck is equipped, you will want to make sure you do those before pulling the grille off the truck. After that, you're going to start actually removing the headlights themselves. So there's these little rubber pieces that go below the headlight. You'll just want to loosen those, and then on the top, you're going to see a couple bolts that are holding the headlight into place. Those two need to be removed, and it's going to make your job obviously a lot easier because otherwise you can't get the headlights out. So once you have those done, you're going to see that the headlight is loose and you're able to wiggle it. Now, there is one final step to getting the headlight out, and that is going to be actually loosening the fender hardware. So there's 3 bolts that run up along the actual fenders of the truck in the engine bay. You're going to want to loosen all 3 of those bolts, and that's going to allow you to wiggle the fender out of the way and actually get the headlight out of the truck. I've done it without this, but it's not fun. Loosening these fenders makes your job so much easier because you can kind of wiggle the fender out of the way and get the light out of the truck. It does really help to have 2 people doing this. You have one kind of pulling the fender and one kind of finagling the light out. It's definitely a tight fit though. Even with the fender, loosened, it can be a little bit tricky. So take your time, and you can definitely do this pretty easily. But you want to be careful because the point of the fender is pretty sharp, so you just don't want that to scratch into the light, either the old ones coming out or the new ones going in. So take your time, and it can definitely take 2 people to get this done a little bit easier. As you can see here, the team is basically just taking their time, wiggling things back and forth, making sure that they're not causing any damage, not scratching anything. We ended up actually just completely removing that front bolt, as that made it a little bit easier to get out. Initially we had it loose, but fully removing it actually really helped to get the lights out of the truck. and just kind of wiggle them out of place. As you're doing this, you want to work along the bottom of the light, and again, there's that little rubber piece that can actually hold the light in as well. So take your fingers and work along and just kind of move that flange out of the way, because that can actually hold the light in. And once you have that out, you should actually be able to get the lights out pretty easily. So just take your time here. This is, one of the more time-consuming steps, but it's pretty easy, all things considered, once you have those fenders loosened. Once you have the headlight out of the truck, you're going to want to move just slightly forward and then disconnect the harnesses from the light. There's just one main harness from these. It's super easy. Get that unplugged, and then again, repeat on the opposite side, following the same steps. That lower little rubber piece is key to get that out. But yeah, basically the same process, both sides of the truck. Once you have the headlights out, we're going to connect our new AlphaRex harness. That basically has one connector that plugs into the main harness on the truck, and while it may look confusing, each connector is very specific to what it does, so you really can't get it too wrong, which is actually quite nice. So don't get too confused or daunted by this. Each connector has a specific spot. From there, we're going to start wiring the DRL stuff. So you're going to see two connections that actually go to the battery. Those ring terminals are going to have to get passed up the fender, kind of around the intake, and we're going to bring those up to the passenger side battery on the truck. How you route this is totally up to personal preference, but you do want to obviously make sure that they're tucked and hidden out of view. And then you're going to see there's a small box. We're going to be mounting that on the fender there. So just make sure that that's in a place that you can use the double-sided adhesive and mount that to the fender while still getting ample clearance to the battery terminals. You're also going to see this small gray wire. That gray wire is going to be used for our fuse tap. So we'll talk about that in a second, but just keep that handy there. Next, we're going to connect to the positive terminal on the battery here. So you're going to undo that top bolt on that little connector there, and then thread it back on once you have the ring terminal in place to connect power to this harness. The harness also has a ring terminal for the negative side of the battery. That's going to be the black cable. So you're going to connect that as well, following the exact same process. From there, we're going to open up the fuse panel, and we're going to identify the fuse that we're going to use for the fuse tap. In this case, we are going to be tapping fuse F045. You will find that on the map on the bottom of the lid, and then you can then locate that in the actual engine bay. You're going to pull the fuse out from the fuse panel and then pop it into the AlphaRex fuse tap. As you can see, we're popping that in here. You might need to use some pliers to just squeeze it into place. You're going to have the fuse for the actual truck, and then the harness as well. And that's going to basically piggyback power off of that fuse. And then once you have that done, you can plug that back into the fuse panel so you have a clean access point to power. Once you have that done, you're going to cover the fuse panel back with that cover. On this truck, it's a little bit difficult because it has a camper and a bunch of electrical accessories. In normal factory form, it's not too bad to get this cover back on and covering the fuse box. Obviously, make sure though that the cover is not pinching the wire as it runs out for the fuse tap, and that the wire itself has good clearance. It's not getting jammed or frayed or anything else. Next, we're going to be mounting that module on the front inside core support here. So we're just cleaning this with some isopropyl alcohol and a microfiber rag to make sure the adhesive sticks. Once you do that, you're going to peel off the backing for the adhesive and carefully apply that to the core support. We just want to make sure this module isn't bouncing around, vibrating, so this is going to offer a nice clean mounting point for it. Keep it nice and secure and tucked out of the way. You also want to make sure this isn't blocking the headlight itself. So the reason we didn't put it on the front of the core support here is that the headlight itself would run into it. So just make sure that the housing isn't running into it. From there, we're going to connect the harness that goes over to the driver's side of the truck for the DRL. Again, this may be a little confusing at first, but all of these connectors are specific. So you can only plug one into one. So that'll keep it pretty easy. But this harness is going to have to get routed across the truck from the driver's side to the passenger side. Take your time doing this. There's really no wrong way to do it. Obviously, we just want to make sure that we're avoiding the radiator, avoiding the fan, anything like that. So that's why we passed it on the front side here. But we just took our time to kind of pass it through any little holes, keep it hidden and tucked away. And then we're going to make sure that we have a good place to zip tie this up, right? You don't want it just dangling in front of the radiator and the AC condenser. So want to make sure that we're passing this in a way that it can be nice and tucked up, hidden out of the way, and we have plenty of things to zip tie it to keep it secure and in place. Feel free if you want to follow our routing as shown in this video. It actually worked pretty well because there's this core support piece in the front here that you can actually pass everything through, but that allows us to secure it and hide it, keep it totally invisible, and also follow some other factory wiring. So it actually worked out pretty well to follow that upper part, kind of like the grille support, core support there. Once we have that done and passed all the way over to the driver's side of the truck, we're going to make sure that our wires are in the correct place, and then we can go ahead and start connecting those to the harness of the truck on that side. Again, each plug is specific, so you only have one plug that it can plug into, and that'll keep things pretty simple because you really can't mess this up when there's only one spot it can go into, but it'll seem a little bit daunting at first. The next thing we're going to do is on both sides of the truck, go ahead and zip tie up some of the extra wires here. So there's plenty of harness length here that gives you some flexibility in how you want to mount things, but we want to make sure that we are zip tying up any of this excess here. And as you can see, we're going to do this before we're mounting that control box on the driver's side of the truck. So that way the whole thing is going to get mounted up and attached with adhesive. Now there's one final step before mounting the headlights, and that is going to be picking your DRL color. So these lights are obviously configurable between whites and amber DRLs. And this connector here shown in this box is going to be what determines what color it is. So on this one, disconnected is going to be white and connected is going to be amber. So you're going to find this little square harness in here. You are either going to disconnect or connect this depending on what color you want the lights to be. This is a change that's obviously best made before you put the lights in the truck, given the access point to this. But this is something you can change back and forth as much as you want. So I think you actually could access this through the bottom of the truck if you pull the fender liner, but obviously much easier to access this right now. While via the back of the headlights, you can also see the adjuster. So the lower headlight is going to be done via that lower adjuster, and the top headlight is going to be done via that upper adjuster. So each projector obviously has its own adjuster. We'll cover that at the end, but I wanted to give you guys a good view of that as we're doing this. Now the next step is going to be connecting all of your connections. Again, each one is specific. So there's only one plug that will plug in. There's quite a few of them, but obviously just take your time, plug each connector into the light, and you will be good to go. And the exacts of these harness are going to depend on which trim level your truck is, whether you ordered an adapter harness or not, etc., etc. So obviously, just follow along, whether you have a base model truck with halogen lights, an LED reflector like this truck used to have, or the LED factory projector headlights on the top trim trucks, you're going to be using a different harness. Once that's done, obviously just make sure that the harness is not blocking the headlight from sliding into place. You want to position that harness so it's not getting pinched between the housing and the core support, and kind of wiggle that headlight back into place, following the opposite path that you did when you took it out. One thing I want to point out is that before you put the grille back into place, you want to make sure your headlights work. So make sure you do that step first, test your headlights, test the DRL function, make sure everything is kosher, high beams, low beams, turn signals, everything is working before you put everything back together. Once you verify that, you can start to reassemble. From there, you can loosely secure the top bolts that are holding the headlight into the core support, and also put the fender bolts back in. Now this part is key. You want to make sure that when you're tightening all of this stuff, your headlight and your fender are all aligned. Because we loosened everything, it is possible to have a pretty good gap between the headlight and the fender. So make sure that when you're retightening everything, you have it all positioned so that there's not a big gap between the fender and the headlight housing on the truck. There's obviously going to be some gap to allow for movement of the body, but you want to make sure things are as tight and aligned as possible, because this is when you have that opportunity. Now the next thing you want to do is check your grill to make sure none of the metal clips came off in the grill. It's pretty common. Just make sure that before you're putting that grill on, none of those metal clips came off. And then obviously the AlphaRex headlights, the new ones, are going to have new metal clips in there. So you can proceed to reconnect your camera, proceed to reconnect the sprayer nozzle, and then once that's done, you can place the grill back into place on the front of the truck. This is totally easy to do with one person, but if you have to, it is pretty nice. But you're going to go ahead and just line things up. Make sure that, I like to kind of start in the center of the grill, make sure all those holes are lined up, all those bolts are lined up. And then once they are, you can kind of start snapping things into place on the headlight. It's only going to take light pressure to basically just push forward. And once you have everything verified, you're going to snap the headlights back onto the grill with just some light pressure of your hand. And then once you feel them kind of snap into place and you've got a few on, then you can give it some firmer taps with your fist. But everything will just click right back into place. So it's pretty nice actually how this works. It was obviously designed to go together really easily at the factory, and it goes back together quite easily when you're doing this carefully. From there, you're going to start installing those bolts back into the top of the grill, as well as those plastic push pins. Those push pins are probably easiest to do first, so we'll just get those into place. That'll help you with alignment on the grill. And then from there, you can reinstall those top bolts on the top of the grill and snug those up, and your grill will be back into place. Next, we're going to replace those little hidden bolts down there. So you're going to obviously thread the bolt back in and then replace that little hidden cover. And after that, you can start putting the top trim piece on. Again, this is just going to go back on in the reverse. Make sure you slide it underneath the hood release handle. That can be a little bit tricky. But once you get that into place, you can then start putting those plastic push pins back into place to keep that grill cover back on the truck. At this point, you are pretty much done with the install. It should be very easy from here on out. Just gonna pop those little pins back into place one by one. Hopefully you didn't mess anything up too badly, and they can go right back in where they came without any issues. Right here, I want to show you guys though is the adjuster for the headlight. Now this is going to be the top projector on the headlight, and then if you come down here, if you drop the fender liner, you can access the lower projector adjuster. If you need to adjust these, this is how it's done. On this truck, we were actually pretty good right out of the box. We just adjusted the top one slightly, but that is going to allow you to do this, and from here on out, you are good to go. Enjoy your new headlights. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the CJC team or the AlphaRex team, and enjoy your headlights.